I definitely want to start utilizing live streaming and stuff just to get people engaged and stuff. So we
Yeah.
are live. So this is a good opportunity to kind of catch up just for fun. Not, I guess the podcast is kind of the same thing, but the live stream brings in like actual people potentially on Facebook, social media right away. I don't know if you see the broadcast that I did at Rockford East.
A little bit, yeah. I watched what match, the 215 maybe, the
Okay, yeah.
Caden Morris. I
Yeah.
watched a little bit of the end of that one.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, that was. Did you see the points? Like, did you see like the?
No, when I logged on, you made a comment about the point scoring. I mean, there was only
Well, let's just say it was a close match, and
yeah,
Caden Morris got ridden out the entire second period and potentially turned. He didn't get turned, but he was gonna get. I think he actually did get back points. I have to go back. I think it was either 4-1 and then it became 4-4 based off of back points. But
okay.
regardless, it was like super close, and the other guy picks top.
In the
Okay,
third,
yeah, in the third.
okay.
Hey, I don't hate on him. Remember, I qualified for state my freshman year by picking top.
Yeah,
So, um, but it was like on the edge, right? So one, you have the edge wrestling. Okay, so you're
yeah,
literally getting to wrestle on the edge more than you could before,
yep. New
and
rule.
then the back points changes. Right, this is the first year high school has adopted the 4-point near fall, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
So Caden Morris somehow gets an escape, takedown, and 4 near fall, and it takes a
Oh,
close
sweet.
match
That's
and it
8
just
points.
blows it out. Right, it's completely crazy, and it is a crazy different situation. So it's
Yeah,
kind of cool to see it in, like, I don't want to say in the flesh, but see it in the action of like, man, this could be really different. So.
yeah. Well, and I don't think you know, I think people are now realizing. I don't think they did before how much those one extra point. A 3-point takedown is a lot different. If I take you down twice, I take you down three, cut you 3-1. I take you now at 6-1. I cut you at 6-2. Where in the past it was 4-2. You take me down, and it's a tie match.
Yeah, I
And
love it because it just keeps, like you said, it keeps that close match isn't as close anymore. So if you get a takedown, you don't kind of get, you know, Again, I just think, yeah, I like it. It's
and
crazy. I mean, if you're not wrestling, dude, things could change quick.
yeah, and on the same side is if you're down, now you're getting those 3-point takedowns. You play the cut game. You're getting 2 for 1. Where in the past it was you're getting 1 point and one.
Yeah.
So it helps you. Like I don't know if you watched any of the Ironman finals.
No.
What weight was it? 75, right? That's where Stewart was at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the kid from I want to say Blair, number one. I think he's the number one kid. Gets taken down towards the end of the first period and turned. He's down 7-0, I believe, at the end of the first period. Maybe he got an escape right there or something, but he was down 7 and came back, and it kind of broke the kid at the end. You could see every time
He
they go
broke
out of
Stewart.
town. What's up?
What place did Stewart end up taking?
Stewart ended up he defaulted to 6. He
Okay.
lost in the semis to
Yeah.
this.
See, I'm not even paying it. Keep going though. Sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, it's just the kid from Blair, hustling back to the middle. The other kid, tighten shoelaces, all those things you do when you're tired. And he broke him and then tied it up, took him in overtime and took him down. I mean, it was that 3-point takedown makes a big, big difference there coming
Yeah,
back.
it definitely does. It definitely does. But speaking of, so Ironman happened this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I follow wrestling and I follow local wrestling. Obviously, I was busy Saturday doing the broadcast and stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be fun to bring on somebody I know knows a lot about what's going on in wrestling. Plus, his son was the one that was wrestling at Ironman and took third place. So if you know him, you know him, and I think a lot of people do. So he should be fun to add.
Get out of here.
And what's up, Jim? How you doing?
Hey, man, what's going on?
How you doing?
Hey, Dan, how are you?
Good.
So I know Jim is a consistent listener of the podcast, and some may not know, but when I need to know anything about wrestling, who's wrestling, what's going on with wrestling, I just call Jim because Jim's got the info about everybody.
He's got the inside track on the inside scoop.
Yeah, he knows enough people that know something that he'll figure it out. He'll piece it all together. But Jim, what was the if you know a lot about what happened at Ironman and all the success of like all the Illinois people. So kind of give me your own rundown of what happened.
All right, so at 106, Caleb Noble won it all. He was the one champion out of Illinois.
And did he win it last year?
I don't know. He won
No.
Super 32. I know he won Super 32. He won Fargo, but I don't know that he won Ironman last year.
I don't think he did.
Okay. Super 32 though.
Yep.
This season.
Yes.
Got it. All right, keep going. Sorry.
And he's the one that everyone was saying how much weight he cut, and his dad put him on the scale right after Super 32, and I think he was 111 or 112. You know, if you see him in real life, he's not the giant everybody that's never seen him in real life says he is. You know,
he's pretty tall. I mean, he's taller than me, that's for sure. But that's not hard to do.
Most people are.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yeah. So, yeah. Sorry, I cut you off, Jim. Who else? I mean, I'm following a lot of stuff, but obviously, I'm not fully aware of everybody's result.
Oh, and just weight order. Munaretto took third. He's a St. Charles East kid, and this is probably the first time in real life that he's competing at that weight. You know, he won worlds at whatever kilogram equals 105 and change. So I mean, he's up a weight class, up 2 weight classes. So he's
and that's at 120, right?
Yeah, 120.
Yeah. And that, speaking of, we mentioned this earlier today when I was talking, but I'm pumped about the Munaretto Tennyson potential rematch this year. That happened. What was that, sophomore year? Those guys were sophomores in the state final?
Well, Munaretto was a freshman. Tennyson was a sophomore. They wrestled in the finals they wrestled at the Dvorak, and then they wrestled in the duel, and then they wrestled in the finals of state.
Yeah, that one I'm pumped for, though. So Dvorak could be a matchup. So Munaretto, what place did you say he ended up taking?
He took third.
Okay.
He took third.
And he lost in the semis.
I believe so. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the Dickman kid, maybe, or
Revan Dickman in Brownsburg, Indiana kid. They've wrestled their whole life together. They've won back and forth at Tulsa. Who won at that? One kid would win it one year, the other kid would win it the next year. They've been wrestling each other for years. Revan's a stud. In real life, significantly looks bigger. You know what I mean? Whatever that's worth, but
he looked like a big 20-pounder. I watched the finals, and he pretty put together for.
Yeah. He was 13-pounder at Fargo because he was in Tennyson's bracket.
Okay.
I think he took. I don't know what he did at Fargo. He placed. But Dickman's a stud. He's been around, for a while. So they know each other well.
Yeah. All right.
Devin Casey at 132, ICC kid or ICCP, whatever it's the right way to say it. He ended up losing. Zach Stewart from Illinois beat him 13-2 or something like that, majored him, whatever the score was. And then he ended up placing higher than Zach in the wrestle, when by the time they wrestled back, Zach ended up taking 7th at 132. So
32 had two placers.
Yep.
From Illinois. That's cool.
And Zach Stewart's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Devin Casey, did he get second in state last year or did he win it last year? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I got to look that up, but I remember Devin Casey was pretty good. And
Yeah.
Again, I thought you'd know, Jim. I thought you were the.
No, I didn't. I should know. I don't remember.
All right. Keep going. Sorry.
And then Zach Stewart, he's the kid that just committed to Purdue. He's been good for a long time.
Yeah.
Super nice kid. His dad's awesome.
Yeah, and he did win state last year.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, in
Yep.
dramatic fashion, right?
For
Yeah.
Marmion, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And he just wrestled. He just won at Super 32. I think he took fifth at Super 32. Like he beat a handful of kids that on paper he shouldn't beat seating wise. We were at Fall Grappler Classic with him in October, and he beat a couple of ranked kids there too. I mean, Zach's on fire. He's for real.
Yeah.
And he's an awesome kid.
Yeah.
Which most of them are, right? I mean,
Yeah. You normally get worse as you get older.
yeah.
When you're a kid, you're good.
Yeah.
All right.
Seth Mendoza, Mount Carmel, took second.
Yeah.
That's I don't know how many times they've wrestled each other. That's a Fargo. That's a who's number one matchup. That's a Fargo finalist.
Yeah.
That's and I don't know. I mean,
It's crazy that he can lose. He seems so tough. I mean, just.
Oh yeah.
His great win in the semifinals against the Vega kid.
Sergio Vega, yeah.
I mean, I think, was he ranked number one at his, like at 26 or something?
I believe he was. Yep.
Right. I mean, and yeah, that's a tough weight class. So you beat that kid to wrestle a Blaze, who's just beat, at the Olympic trials, took out Fix and everybody. I mean,
yeah,
no slouch to lose to.
No, and imagine the momentum Blaze has with all the stuff going on, and the Penn State commit, and the money and everything that comes with it. You know what I mean? That kid's probably hot to the touch.
Yeah, and then we talk about that a lot. Just like confidence is so crazy in this game because everybody's so tough at the highest level, and that little bit of belief will really help finish a single leg or high crotch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. He's probably riding the confidence train of I am the baddest dude here.
Yep.
So that's an important aspect to have.
But yeah, Mendoza's fun to watch too. I mean, he's just that kid that's never, even when he's in trouble, he's not. Everyone thinks he's in trouble, but him.
Yeah.
Like he's just.
Yeah, he just looks like he's always comfortable no matter where he's at. And I mean, you look at him, and no disrespect, but he's not a kid I'm looking at and I'm afraid of.
Right.
Right. When you look at him, he kind of young in the face and just.
McNames, who he like? Obviously, his wrestling I don't think is the same, but just from a personality standpoint, he reminds me of Pat McCaffrey. Like very unassuming, like just kind of like, oh yeah, that guy's pretty good. It's like no, that guy's really good.
Yeah. I remember his first year up at the Cheesehead, and people are looking at him like, who's this dude? He's walking around with a backpack, just.
Yeah, I don't think Jim. I don't know if you know who Pat McCaffrey is, but he's back in the day when I was like, he would just be unassuming, but he beat everybody, like everybody. Phenomenal high school wrestler. But all right, so keep going. Sorry.
144, Evan Gaz, our guy Gaz. He ended up coming back wrestling for took fifth.
And he just committed to Michigan State too, right?
Yep, he's a Michigan State guy now. He's ranked number one at 144 in Illinois. He should be.
Yeah.
I don't know that he.
Well, he had a great last season. He finished second to Jaden Cologne.
Yep.
I mean, he's strong. He's athletic. Like, he's a very talented wrestler.
Oh yeah. I think he's a two-time runner-up, right? And then he took third his sophomore year, I believe.
I don't know. My memory only gets like 1 year, 365, and then it's only like my memories and stuff. I have to look that up. But guys, so 144, fifth place.
Yep, fifth place. 150, Wyatt Medlin took fifth. Washington kid, everyone knows Wyatt. He's Illinois commit kid. He's stud, obviously. State champ. Well, yeah. Big freestyle Greco guy, like wins the big ones and all that. Will Denny, second at 157. He was the number one seed. I don't know if you call it an upset because he just won Super 30. I mean, how consistent can you just win at the high level over and over and over?
Right.
So he takes second. You know, I mean, that's
But he won the Super 32.
correct.
Now, was this guy the guy he lost to? Was he at Super 32? Is he the same kid that he competes against? Like that's an interesting thing about Super 32 is like obviously they're both. I mean, they're both the two toughest folk style tournaments. One's in season,
Right.
one's out of season.
Right.
But like, do they all show up? I don't know. And you would
If-
know more because your boy wrestled there.
I don't. I want to tell you he was a weight class below at
Yeah.
Super 32, and I could be wrong, but
Who do you lose to in the finals? You remember?
No,
I
who did
know.
who did Denny
Will-
lose to? Oh, you don't know.
No, I don't. I would have known 20 if I wouldn't hooked up to the camera. I'd know. Now I'm getting like stage
Where's
fright.
Jamie? Where's
Stage
Jamie?
fright.
I don't
at?
know. Yeah, Jamie, could you Google this?
Let me see.
Pull up the Ironman bracket.
I'm
Okay,
50,
157.
7, yeah.
57. Rutledge.
Yeah.
Cody Rutledge from Edmond North.
So what did Cody do at Super 32? I think I don't know, man. I just that name rings a bell, you know.
Yeah.
But of course, why? I mean, he's. You know,
Well, you're not winning the Ironman as a nobody, so
no.
yeah.
And what's really neat about the Ironman is making, you know, I mean, you're making weight the day of 1 pound allowance, and then the day two 2 pound allowance.
right.
So thank you. So I think that changes, you know. Super 32, you weigh in, you might not wrestle for 20 hours, 24 hours. So I mean that changes a lot of.
Oh,
where
it's
you're
not. You don't weigh in the same day.
No, and it's split session. So if you're above 150, I believe, you don't wrestle until 1 p.m. the next day. So you're weighing in. I mean, you have a solid 24, 25, 26 hours to recover.
Yeah. So you can
So,
make
yeah.
a pretty good cut.
Oh, yeah,
And, yeah. So guys probably do go down and move around.
for sure.
As far as Cody, I don't have him listed. I'm searching, but I do not see these brackets are. Yeah, maybe I'll go to Flow Wrestling.
He's an Oklahoma kid, right? He like trained at Stillwater already, I believe.
Okay. Oh, he does.
At
Yeah.
Stillwater High School, then.
Yep.
What Okie State does, try to get all their guys to go to Stillwater, and then they just train them.
Yeah, I mean, what a great idea, right? Why not do it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've talked about that aspect of. I mean, if you really, I mean, these guys are getting so good, and college wrestling is becoming, such a recruiting component. Like if you're out of high school, you better be ready to compete because if you're not, there's going to get a transfer that can fill the spot. So, or there's going to be another guy in the lineup. So if they're going to invest in, a freshman or a high school recruit, you might as well have your hands on them for a couple of years to really get to see if it's going to work. And you can help, again, I think my own experience, that transition from high school to college, right? That first year is like, you're kind of confused. It's not really, it's not always the easiest transition, I think. So having a couple of years in the same town might be helpful. So.
No doubt.
But
And imagine being around your coach, like your coach that you're going to be with potentially for the next 4 or 5 years. Like he's with you for your first heartbreak or your first car accident or whatever the hell happens out there. You know what I mean? Like that's,
yeah.
Yeah,
I think that there's a lot to that. Plus, I mean, on the other side, you might find out that you don't like the guy. So,
right.
Both are opportunities to learn about what you want. And yeah. So, but yeah, I don't think that Cody Rutledge wrestled. I just looked it up on Flow Arena and I cannot find him. So, so he might not have just not wanted to wrestle. So,
yeah. Aaron Stewart took 6th at 175. He did medically forfeit, I believe, 2 matches. So
just the last 2?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because if you made it to the semis, you can all the way, right?
Yeah, he lost in the semis, and then I think defaulted to 6, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Well, now I have the brackets, so
I don't know if he wrestled in the wrestlebacks at all. I know he defaulted to 5th place match for sure.
Yeah, and I watch him and Nikki Singer wrestle. That's used to be on. Used to go to them ISI camps, and all them kids would be together with
Yeah, it looks like Stewart, he wrestled his semifinal wrestle back and he lost 4-1 to Norman.
Okay.
And then he defaulted his fifth place.
place.
Yeah. So actually he only defaulted one match.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so give the man his credit. He didn't default out like the Big Ten tournament or something.
No. I didn't mean it that way.
No, not you.
No.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, hey, I mean, maybe he got hurt. I'm not.
Yeah. I mean,
You guys placed out there, man. I'm not taking anything away from any of these.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And again, that's the challenge with this tournament is like again, Jim and I have talked about it. This is tougher than the majority of individuals' state tournaments, right? So the state tournament is less of an event that you have to get your body and mind prepared for. So like if somebody's on a single leg here, like something can happen at all times.
Oh, yeah.
It's a different environment and it's tough being so. I mean, I guess it's not early in the season, but it is early in the season. Most of these kids have been wrestling all preseason, so it's not that early. But it is a very, impactful event on the rest of the season. You know, you're definitely running into people who are trying to rip your arms off, or whatever. People are fighting to win here at a different level. So.
yeah, no doubt. It's I mean, every tournament after this one has to be considered not easy, but easier.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you definitely get a sigh of relief that you don't have a two-time state champ from Ohio or
Right.
New York or Pennsylvania or whatever. So
yeah. And I guess let me get back. We skipped over Tennyson didn't wrestle at 120, but he was invited to go. He was going to wrestle, but it's too close out of his surgery for the Ironman to be your first tournament. I mean, that's
kind of what we're saying.
Yeah.
If you're not prepared to go, it'd kind of be silly to go because you're not really giving yourself the best opportunity to show your skills.
Yeah.
There's other times to do that.
And then at 190, Jimmy ended up taking third. He lost in the quarterfinals and then wrestled all the way back. And then he had some kid medically forfeited out to him, or not just to him, just out of the tournament completely.
Yeah, and that was
all the way back to Miller from, don't know where he's from, but he was.
Oh, that was even in the semifinal wrestleback.
Yeah, and I want to say he was like the 4th or 5th seed in that bracket.
Yeah. So Jimmy wrestled phenomenal. Obviously, he ran into a senior who's, I believe you said committed to Michigan.
Yes, DL Capone Veazey. He's I remember he used to be he was on a couple dual teams with us, maybe 12U when Jimmy would wrestle 15U, or he'd do both team, 12U and 15U. And I mean, the kid's been a big stud for a long time. You know, just put together like, real deal.
Yeah. And again, that happened in the quarters, but he wrestled all the way back to third place.
Yep.
And McNames and we have some experience from this because I was not very good at winning when I was supposed to, and when I was in some of these events. McNames knows that I've had experiences where I had to fight back. And again, I think college coaches are looking at that type of stuff of just your character as to wrestle back through. I mean, nobody wants to wrestle in the losers bracket.
Right.
But the person that does is just such a different type of person.
It shows you a lot about that person. Like they bounce back from that loss. They're determined, hey, I can't win it, but next best thing is going to be third, right?
Right.
So, battle all the way back. I mean, I looked at his bracket and he had a good tournament, minus the one loss. He had a great tournament. So
yeah, he wrestled well, whatever he.
You come out of that third place out there. I mean, that's nothing to be upset about. I don't think if you place out there, you're upset, but it's a lot different coming back. Hey, I battled back for third, or I got 7th.
Right.
Hang your head on that third place medal pretty easily.
Yeah, and just talking about those matches that he came back through, right? He tech falls the first guy. Not major, 9-2 the next guy, and then he's in the third place match and he wins 8-1.
Yeah.
You know, like he's widening the gap on so many people. Yeah, it's just like you. Now I can't wait to get that that match back. When can he
Right.
wrestle that other kid, and that kid that beat him, and see if he's, you know, ready or maybe more ready to go. I don't know.
Yeah, he ended up.
Him.
That kid lost, and Jimmy ended up wrestling the kid that beat Jimmy. If that makes sense. For third.
Yeah, because he beat Kowalski in sudden victory 4-1, and then again Jimmy beats him 8-1.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this. What did you say? Wrestling math?
Yeah, wrestling math.
What's the next match going to look like? Yeah. And anybody else beyond?
One more Washington kid, Hoffer at 215. He took 8th.
Okay.
Nice.
And has he been around? Do you know anything?
I don't know. I don't know that name. That doesn't sound like the heavyweight or the 215 that they had, or the 190 that was on a couple of teams with us before. That just sounds too normal of a name. I don't remember the name being that easier to pronounce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you have any other results from Super 32?
Ironman stuff?
Yeah, or sorry, Super 32. I'm reading comments here. No, yeah. What else happened at Ironman?
Man, I would know a lot more if I.
You got it.
Yeah.
Well, I saw the one, Cassiope lost right away out of the gate.
Yeah.
Battled back. I think he ended up a match away from being in the top 8. I think he lost in that blood round in the wrestlebacks, which, I mean, again, right there, you're battling back, and so
yeah. So he battled back. Brody lost in the quarters, and something happened. We got to get some background.
He defaulted out, right?
Yeah, he defaulted out. So again, one of those situations like we're talking about. You know, I mean, you're wrestling hard in these matches. So.
Oh yeah, I know Gina Cassiope won it today.
Did she win it?
Today.
Today, yeah. I saw she was in the finals. So.
Yep.
Okay, nice. So they do that tournament not at the same time?
The girls start on Saturday.
Okay.
Or the girls start on Saturday.
And then finish on Sunday. Okay.
Yep.
That's a long week.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So like Tyler's probably been out. Tyler has to have been out there since Thursday.
Yeah.
You know.
Driving back tonight. Oof. How long of a drive is it out there?
I Googled it. It was a little better than 8 hours.
Oof.
But it's really only 7 because you lose it like Eastern time. So so it's 7 hours. I mean, all the crazy driving I've done, like 7 hours is like
pretty easy.
I could do that backwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, that's nothing. The East Coast trips were the bad ones. The 16-hour drive to Virginia Beach. Yeah. Those were the ones that got brutal. You know what I mean?
Well, thinking about that, McName's, I kind of was like adopted kind of by McName's when it went to national events. My parents just sent me with him, but like you're kind of like what you're talking about. You guys would go everywhere.
Yeah.
And you start competing with all these guys. So almost all the kids that are, competing and placing at the Ironman, they were one time on a dual team or something, right? So it's like everybody kind of stays in that circle of wrestling.
For sure. Most like a lot of the really good kids all know each other just from being at all the really good tournaments throughout the years,
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's definitely true. So, I mean, I wanted to bring you on. I knew you had the lowdown. You were paying attention to the tournament, obviously, because Jimmy was in it and competing. And you knew a bunch of other people. I was at the East tournament, didn't get to see all of Saturday's results. But I'm glad you came on.
How's that? You saw Blake Livedall wrestle out there? Richmond kid, 175 at Rockford.
So I didn't get to see his full match because I was watching Gavin Ekberg's match, and so they split the finals in half. And so
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I got to see the end of it, and Dan, he was actually wrestling Dan Casillas' youngest son.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from Muhammad Seymour, his other son who won state a couple years prior. So that was a good match. It came down to the last the last takedown, I believe. Yeah, that was a good one. You know, another good one was, and Jim, you know, these guys, they were both been out to the barn. Isaac Gaines and Dana Wixon.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Dana didn't really get much offense going, but man, they were battling. Like, if you go back and watch the broadcast, every position these guys are, you know, wrestling through. But Isaac got the best of them. He won every position. He ended up winning. But that was a good one.
Yeah, they've probably wrestled out here together a couple of times, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Donald Cannon,
Yep.
another kid. He won. Again, he's like he's like a funky, weird wrestler to watch, but he ends up pinning the guy. You know, it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you don't know what's going on, and all of a sudden the guy's pinned, and then it's like, all right, good job, Donald. You know,
Yeah.
And that was a good match.
The Libdol kid wasn't he a Harvard kid at one point,
Yep.
or right?
Yeah, they moved out of Harvard. They moved out. I don't know where they moved. Whatever's at Richmond School District. He's good,
Okay.
man. That kid's going to be. Did you guys already talk about the rankings a couple weeks ago? Remember there was a rankings around. Did you guys talk about rankings?
McNames follows the rankings. I don't follow them.
I haven't seen him at all this year, so no.
No. I pay attention to the 1A rankings more than anything, just because they're easier to follow for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
But that's a kid that's not. I don't even think they have him ranked, and he wins once. Well, him and Bowden Delaney.
Is he a freshman or a sophomore?
Sophomore.
Sophomore.
Yeah.
Sophomore. You got him.
Tough in junior high, right?
Oh, yeah.
IESA, or was he?
Yeah, he's an IESA champ and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He won like freshman sophomore state, or is that what it's called? Fresh soft state. He won that last year.
Okay.
He's good. He's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I'd heard about him coming up. So.
Yeah, but Jim, I believe that Ekberg wasn't even ranked in the rankings either.
What is he? 26 or 32?
He's at 26, so he's at the same weight class he placed last year, and you know he's been training hard. He trained at the barn.
Yeah.
He's been training with me. I wrestled with him today. He's tough, and they don't even give him credit.
And he's a real 26 pounder too. I mean, that's
he doesn't eat anything but the cows that were on his farm.
Yeah.
So he's lean and strong, and So I haven't really paid much attention to the rankings, just because from what I saw, it's hard to gauge. Like, if they're not going to just take the previous state results and kind of like incorporate them, I don't really know how do you do it. And if that's the case, Livdahl wasn't right. He was injured last year. What happened? Why didn't he wrestle?
He got knocked out at sectionals or something.
Oh,
he got beat
really
at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think he was at 190. I think he was like fresh out of football. I think they did really well in football, and then fresh out of football, never really got down to weight, just wrestled at the weight he was at.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's tough though.
Oh,
you got any other sleepers?
Yeah, everybody at well, not everybody, but like Newman
Newman.
Sterling Newman. Newman Catholic. They're not ranked as someone put out team rankings the other day, and they weren't even on there. And I thought, wow, that's They got.
What weight Brody Ivy's going?
57.
Or sorry,
I mean that's what he's been wrestling so far.
Not Brody, Breyer. Sorry.
Breyer would be 57.
Okay.
Daniel Kelly, he's good. He placed last year. He's a 65 pounder. They're 106er Landon Near. He's a NWO kid, like a Nate Martinez kid. Kid's so good. So good.
Interesting.
There's a lot of good kids on that Newman team. There really is. Landon Blanton's there now. You remember Landon? He used to come out and train.
Yeah.
He's their 32 pounder. He's good.
Yeah, he placed for Amboy his freshman year, I think.
Yep.
And then last year he qualified, didn't place. So he's a junior as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So interesting.
I'm forgetting a couple of good kids there, but yeah, I can't believe. I think Newman's like. Okay, remember you guys talked about that Abe's Rumble? It's like the big.
Yeah. The big one.
I mean, within reason, you could almost say, if you lined it up correctly or in bracket pool play and this and that, you can almost have all your state final matches down there, excluding, I'd say, Brody Stein from Byron, because Byron doesn't go there. Brody be in the mix at 165 this year. He's good.
Yeah. Yeah, he is very good. Dan, like I wrestled today.
Yeah.
I wrestled. I did 4 privates, 4 workouts today, and Brody is 165, and he was the last one.
Well,
And I was fighting so hard, and man, 165 pounds is hard to pick up.
Yeah.
It's
And
hard to pick up.
Brody's in the barn right behind me wrestling more right now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's into it. He's gonna.
Yeah, he's matured a lot this
Oh
offseason,
yeah.
and I just I'm excited too to see how he does this year. So I mean that's the thing is like, being coaching so many people so long, it's like, I've always known because I've seen it before. You just got to be patient and wait until these guys mature, get to 16 years old, and then they start becoming, like, oh, I can do this, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's a whole different opportunity, it's a whole different game. So that's cool. Newman though is Newman.
That's the worst thing to tell a wrestling dad though when the kids are little. Like, oh, just wait.
Yeah, Jim. I think you froze a little bit.
Froze a little bit there for us. Sterling Newman, back when I was in high school, was a powerhouse. They had the Mena boys there.
Yeah. Oh, that's where Menno went to, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bobby and Mike both were Newman kids, and they had some great teams back in the day. And I think they kind of took a little dive, but they've always had really good individuals. So, and
Yeah.
Brian Davis, who used to be the head coach at Sycamore, he was
Yeah.
a Newman and state champ for them. And I think his brother maybe was as a coach there or assistant, but they had a streak where, God, I don't know, it was so many years in a row, they had a kid in the state finals.
Really?
I believe that was their streak. Yeah. And I think it got snapped a few years ago.
So are for sure, Jim? Are they going to be at Abe's Rumble?
They were there last year, so I'm just assuming they are.
Yeah, McNames. We've talked about this before. That Abe's Rumble. If you're a single A team and you want, and your team, you gotta go there. It's so much better than the state series because the state tournament is decided through an individual tournament. 2, not everybody gets an opportunity to kind of get into the winning bracket, right? Some duels are actually going to be close. So to decide it in an individual tournament doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
And it's just it's an actual. I think that all team state tournaments should be run like that. They should run a single A state tournament like that, a double A state tournament, and a 3A state tournament where you just do 3 big team tournaments.
We talked in the past, like the Abe's Rumble is basically the Class A dual team state tournament, right?
Yeah.
And then the DeKalb tournament is kind of the 3A.
The Flavin, right? Yeah, that's
and
no
so
doubt.
they need to put something together for a 2A,
But the hard part is it's not though. The Flavin has people from other states and stuff, I think, right?
I believe so, but still,
Yeah.
And
you have your top 5 there.
You still have your top, you have
I totally agree.
I'm
not saying it's not, but it's like this is legit single A state dual
and it's
state.
just Illinois teams, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
it's
awesome.
What's nice about the dual format too, instead of over the state series, there is so you could bump up to wrestle that state champ. You know what I mean? Like that's what's so nice about duels.
Yeah. Which again, in duels that matters. So if you have if you have a state champ at 144 and then there's a state champ at 150, like in a duel, you bump the guy so that they wrestle, or you're gonna have a little situation in a tournament that changes changes everything. So I like it. So that'll be cool to see. As new. I wonder. I wish I had more of a mass schedule for these guys to see. Like, okay, where they at? Let's go find out. So
yeah. I think they're there just because I think they're always been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, why would you ever pull out of that tournament? That's that's a good early season test. All right, where you at?
And when's that? That's at the end of this month, right?
It's the day after Christmas. I think we have to go down there.
Got it. Yeah.
Or when's Dvorak? Is that the day after Christmas? I have those two mixed up.
I think so. I think Dvorak is the 2 days before Christmas, right?
All right, then it's one day after Christmas.
Isn't it December 22nd? And
I think Dvorak is what's the 21st, 22nd, that Saturday, Sunday, maybe.
Okay. And then Abe's would be on the 26th, or at least they start wrestling on the 27th. We'll travel on the 26th.
Yeah. December 21st and 22nd. Yeah.
Well, we got the Abe's Rumble. Yeah, I just looked it up. They're down there, the 27th, 28th.
Yeah.
And the place it's at, it's where they have the John Davis tournament, like the IK John Davis tournament. It's a big place. It's a big, clean, convenient. Well, you went there last year, don't remember? It's a big, clean, convenient place. You know what I mean? It's
and I like those types of places that like the hotels there. Now the city could be a little bit better, but it's kind of similar to like, the St. Louis national event type thing where it's like the event is there and then you just kind of walk to your hotel and you can walk back. During the breaks, you can get food. It's like it's very convenient. There's not a lot of downtime because there's always something that you can go figure out what to do. So
yeah. Once you get there, once you park, you're done for a couple of days if you want to be.
Yeah,
nice.
Which is cool. But so you got anything else? Otherwise, we can jump out of here.
I don't know. I thought I would, but I don't know. I thought I'd know more than I did.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Little stage fright, first time on a podcast.
No doubt.
That happens,
Well, we can bring up, I mean, I don't know. I don't have to.
No, let's bring it up. Bring it up. I'm ready.
We don't need to. I was going to ask Dan McNames if he's seen Danny. Have you seen Danny's new glasses? Jim has been telling me about Danny's new glasses.
I have not. I talked to him today, but no, I have not. What's he?
Well, you might have been talking to him through his glasses.
Oh, does he have the?
He's got the Google glasses.
Of course he does.
Of course he does. I have your black Oklahoma hooded sweatshirt.
Yeah,
the one with the price tag over it. It's a 3X large, but the price tag was over to 3X. So he thought it was a large, and he gave it to Dan.
I was excited to get it. I put it on. I'm like, what the?
Wait, he got you a 3X?
The price tag covered up the 3X, and it just said large. And I was like,
okay. So you're telling me you got regifted it?
Yes. Well, I bought it by default.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, right away, Danny's like, I got someone that can take that from you.
I can fill it out. I
did break down and get the large. I ordered one, so they had a good weekend too.
Yeah, Oklahoma State. We will touch base on that.
Well, hey, here's Jimmy Dalton. You want him for a minute?
Yeah, if he wants to chat with us, that'd be cool.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. All right, Dan. Hey, good talking to you, man.
You too. We'll see you.
Good
luck this rest of this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Likewise.
Hopefully your internet connection improves. How do we know it's Jimmy? This is like Jimmy.
This could be AI.
Yeah, this could be AI Jimmy.
I mean, we're out there in the sticks. Do they still use dial-up internet?
What? Yeah, I'll have to ask Jim. You guys got dial-up out there, right? Jimmy, what's up, dude?
I didn't hear you, Don. What's that?
I just said, Jimmy, what's up?
Oh no, he's talking to you, Jimmy. Hold on.
Why would I be talking to anybody other than Jimmy?
Hello,
Jimmy. Why would you think I was talking to anybody but you?
Yeah. I heard Jim.
No, you forgot the me, the Jimmy.
Me. Oh. Hey, congratulations, man!
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Great tournament. That was good. Tell Brody to get out of the background. He looks like a doofus.
There you go.
So obviously there's not much to say. You obviously wanted to go out and win the tournament. You're more than capable of doing it. You take a loss and you wrestle all the way back to third, which again we're super impressed, proud of you, happy that you chose to fight and battle back and get third. So just tell us your experience in general, how you felt out there.
I felt pretty good. I should have got to more attacks, pushed pace a little bit more. Probably could have took first.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, what's the experience out there? How many for people who've never gone and don't really know, how many matches are they running? Is it chaos or, is it?
It's pretty well ran. There was only 10 matches. So it's pretty well ran though.
Okay.
But it's like the Dvorak. There's some matches in the different gym and then some in the main gym, right?
Yeah, there's 3 in the main, and then there's the rest are in the other gym.
Got it. Side note, I heard, is it true that you have the strongest grip at the Ironman?
I was the strongest one that tested.
Oh,
I got 155.
dang. Jimmy got the strong grip. Don't grab him
No,
nicknames, and
I
don't let
won't.
him pull on your head because it will be a very tough experience. Just going into this thought, though, obviously, what you need to do to kind of improve those. But, what did you feel like you got going in the wrestlebacks that, helped you just kind of widen the gap? I mean, you didn't really have a close match in the wrestlebacks. You dominated all the way through. So what were you doing that was really clicking?
Just getting a lot of turns on top, and getting out on bottom right away. I just like wore on people, especially because first period was like 1 minute, so I got out right away in the like second or third, and then just hand fighting and get into my shot.
Yeah. How did you like the new point system? Like, how do you like that stuff so far?
I like it a lot. I like the
Right.
forward near fall. Yeah.
How about the takedown? Does it make you want to just like let them up right away, or does the 4 near fall make you go, oh, let me get a turn here?
I like the turn more. I like
Yeah.
getting the turn
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it can make it 7-0 right away.
Yeah, those points can add up. So
Quick.
that's for sure. Well, cool. We don't have to keep it too long. I'm pumped that you did so well. I'm happy to see that you had that and you going into the rest of the season. So looking forward to Dvorak. Dvorak's up next after some duels, right?
Yep, we have Marist and Niles Notre Dame, and then we have Dvorak
What
Yeah.
day? When do you have Marist?
this Thursday at
Oh.
Niles Notre Dame.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so great duel. You had a chance to wrestle the Marist kid at the Marmion tournament. So yeah, I'm excited to see what adjustments you make and go, back into that match. That'd be cool. Dan, you got anything else for Jimmy?
No. Good luck the rest of the season, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy. You're the first athlete on the podcast. So we'll talk to you soon. Have a good weekend.
Sounds good. You too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. We got to get. I'm going to talk to Jim about their internet connection.
Yeah.
At the beginning, though, it was really good, right?
What's that?
In the beginning, it was really good.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. Maybe bad weather out there. I don't know. Snow on the roof.
Snow on the roof. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive though. Like how he came back. I was really pumped about him.
Yeah.
Out there, obviously. Yeah, I've known that he'd have him, but
I mean, you go to those national tournaments, and I mean, those guys are going out there was the mindset to win it, right? Just like Jimmy said, if I could have been more, I probably would have won it. So, you take a loss you're not expecting, and then you come back through. That does show a lot. I mean,
yeah,
like you say, college coaches look at that thing. You could easily let it wear on you and lose the next match and be done, and then you're really pissed because you should have placed and could have placed. And
yeah.
so,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's there's something to the nerves of like the expectation of winning the whole tournament, like, oh, and then, when I don't know. Yeah. You have to adjust and just let it fly. Like, I think that's why I like consolation. The consolation bracket exposes the mindset that you need to have at all times. Right. It's like, that's why I think Penn State has so much success, because it seems like they just wrestle like that all the time.
Yeah. They don't. It never seems like they're worried about losing, or, who was it? The 25-pounder from Minnesota.
Yeah, McKee.
And he talked about that. He lost his first match 2 years in a row at the NCAAs, came back for third to one time and I think fifth the other. Like, he couldn't get past that. It's a mindset, like you said. Hey, I'm going in to win this, and now once you lose, now you're like, well, screw it.
Yeah.
You just and you do things that you weren't doing,
Yeah, one of these. Hold on, which one? One of these. I think it's this one. This All-American. My junior year at Nationals.
Oh yeah.
I lost my first match,
Yeah.
in lacrosse. I lost my first match and wrestled all the way back. Got third, beat a national champ,
Yeah.
and beat another All American. So it's like, yeah,
Oh,
for me mentally, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things you learn sometimes too late. You learn you learn things at the wrong time, but
right.
really you just learn. Like it just
Right.
is what it is.
Well, and you talk about that at like the Ironman Nationals. I mean, the level of competition is so close, right? I mean, these guys are, the best of the best. And so sometimes it's just that the mental thing is the difference.
Yeah.
You could beat that guy 9 out of 10 times, but mentally that one time you just weren't ready, and then all of a sudden, well, shit, now I got to come back.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun, beat some people.
Yeah, I think that's when you get to start having fun. You have, you
Yeah.
make that decision.
Well,
but
I will say, minus your first match up there, the rest of it was fun watching you because
Oh, yeah.
you did some things. Who was the kid from Geneseo? He was the national champion next year.
Yeah, I don't want to forget his name, but I'm gonna blank on it.
Yeah.
Old. He won nationals next year.
Yeah. And you
Man,
beat
good
him
guy. Yeah, a good friend. Like I consider him.
semi wrestlebacks or for the third place. Shit, I can't remember his name either.
Yeah.
He was a 4-time Geneseo tournament champ too. Either way, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. They don't have anything listed
Sheehy?
anyway.
Adam Sheehy?
Adam Sheely. There you go. Thanks.
Sheely. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a national champ next year, but yeah, I mean,
you look at the Ironman, what they 11, 12 guys from Illinois placed out there. That's good. A champ.
Yeah, guys. Illinois is stepping up. I mean, Illinois has always had a solid group of athletes, and then obviously, like I think as that tournament gets a little bit more notoriety, you start to see all of these teams wanting to go out there, which I love that aspect. I mean, obviously, we got to go to Cheesehead when I was in high school, which was a premier national tournament. And that was great for me. But even then, like you said, a couple years later, you guys couldn't go back, right?
Yeah, we had a scheduling conflict, so we didn't go back.
Yeah, but they kicked me out when I was coaching at Boylan. They told me I couldn't go, right? So what I'm getting at is,
go ahead. Sorry,
I'm just saying the way the new format seems to be working is like you can still send a few individuals to these really tough tournaments, which still gives them the opportunity to get exposure, but also the opportunity to compete, where like, if you had to send 15 guys, like Jimmy was the only Marion kid that wrestled.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have to send the team, you don't get to have that thing. So I love that that's not the case anymore. Seems.
Well, I don't think any of the Illinois teams took a full team. They all had a handful of kids they took out there.
Yeah.
I think maybe St. Charles East a couple of years ago maybe took their full lineup. But before that, I would say it was probably Montini's the only one that, and they competed for the title. I think they finished, third or fourth? Do you remember?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I wasn't on staff at that point.
Okay. But, yeah, I mean, and it's crazy. So this weekend you look at, the Ironman's going on, and in Iowa they have the Donnybrook, the Dan Gable Donnybrook, which is a big tournament out there, and Mount Carmel's out there, and so they're still sending their guys to a tough tournament.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and that's the case. That's the thing. Like I was trying to talk to one of the local high school coaches, and again, this is one of those things that maybe we'll bring on Marty and argue about, because Marty would probably argue against the idea of like sending 3 guys to this tournament and 4 guys to that tournament.
Yeah.
Just because it's not traditional, it's not normal, it's not what you're used to, but at the end of the day, the Dvorak tournament is a tough tournament, but why would you send kids that have no business going to that tournament? But if you have a couple guys or one, get them in that tournament, so
100%. I mean, a few years ago, the first time Belvedere was in there, Danny sent, I think, they got like 3 or 4 kids they could bring.
Yeah.
The rest of the team went to the Harvard tournament.
Yeah.
Which is a great tournament for those guys to go wrestling. It's tough, but it's not the Dvorak.
Yeah.
You send the guys who you think really can compete rather than,
Yeah, I just think that it's a good change that I think needs to I mean, it doesn't matter if it needs to happen or not happen. It's happening because of the
Yeah.
landscape of the rule change with
Oh, yeah.
dates and stuff. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So,
Yeah, it's fun to see, man. Like to see these guys compete against the best and prove that Illinois is actually one of the best states.
yeah,
When we were out at the Big Tens last year in Maryland, the guy who created or started the Beast of the East tournament out there, they were sitting behind us. And so he got to talking to us about being from Illinois, and he got Andrew's info because they run they're starting a girls tournament. But he wants teams from Illinois to come out there. He's like, you guys got some tough teams. We want them out here as well. So we gave him a list of teams, but talking was one of the coaches. They were like, how does Illinois for so long dominant on the freestyle scene? What was it like at those practices? Because I think they won like 5 in a row, the junior national duels and Greco and freestyle. And so it's like, we got tough kids, man. They just, at the end of the day, they just don't end up wrestling for Illinois. They go out and wrestle for other people,
Well, I think a lot of them do wrestle for Illinois, but it just doesn't translate into everybody's having success. But yeah, a lot of people are leaving. I can't say that I went to Illinois.
No, and then Illinois is having a good year so far.
Yeah, this year they look like they are
off to a good start. Who'd they just beat the other night? Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana.
I mean, so good. They're 1-0 in the Big Ten. I think they're in first place.
Well, you know what's tough though, and so think about this. Like I listened to their football coach, the Illinois football coach, and he said their football team is operating on a 25% budget compared to other schools. So say Michigan, Ohio State, say they're spending $20 million on NIL for these students, for the guys.
Right.
They're operating on $5 million.
Yeah.
And it's taken I don't know. I've been out of college. When did I go to college? 06. So what are we at? I mean, we're almost 20 years. Dang.
Yeah.
Right. So it's been over. I mean, before when I was there probably, but let's just say 10 years, right? 10 years at the lowest that they've been talking about getting a new facility. Well, now they get a new facility and now they're taking it and they shelve the project and they're not going to get it. So it's hard to compete with, because again, facilities don't make you into a better person. They don't change, this argument happens, but it does create a level of like professionalism to the team.
Yeah.
And stuff. Like,
I mean, if you're a recruit and you're walking in and you look at two different, institutions, and one has this really nice training facility, like it shows you like they care, right? They're going to do what it takes to, and you go to the other one and you're like, well, do they really care about our program? Are they going to help us?
Yeah.
So it does. I mean,
yeah, it's definitely not
make you a better wrestler, no, but it gets you better wrestlers in the
but thinking about how important team camaraderie is and culture within the program and like how that impacts that, like, I mean, it's something that I just don't think you can fully measure, it's definitely, it definitely impacts whether or not it's like, the determining factor as to somebody who's going to be a national champ, maybe not, but maybe it impacts the guy that's going to be All-Americans or something. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, it's just, you can't really measure it. Actually, you can't accurately measure it, but there's got to be something to it. But either way, like Illinois is just, it's going to be tough to see if their football team is operating on 25% budget. Yeah, I think wrestling is going to get the short end of the stick.
Oh yeah, they're low on that totem pole of athletics down there.
Yeah, I mean,
sad.
I mean, yeah, it is tough too because they can't you can't get fans. I mean, it's 3.5 hours. It's three
Right.
hours away. You know, you if you went down, you'd have to go down and stay for a duel, which not a bad idea if it was a Friday night, Saturday duel or something like that.
Yeah.
But you'd have to stay. You're not going to go down there and
Yeah,
have
you're not driving. I mean,
not if you participate in the event, right? The event of the competition, right? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But Illinois is doing great. They had a great performance at Ironman. Rockford East was fun. A lot of
Yeah.
good wrestling.
it looked like a good tournament.
Yeah, I was happy to get the broadcast up going. So,
Yeah, that's cool.
but we'll do more of this coming next couple of weeks and the months and stuff. So,
Sounds good.
all right, Dan, we'll see
All right.
you.
We'll talk to you.